Patricia Reyes is a market researcher. She has been commissioned by Quartz Power Group to survey the company's customers. She is presenting her findings with the help of some visual aids.
So I'm here today to present you with the results of that survey. Now, to do this, I've divided my presentation into 3 parts. Firstly, I'll talk about the background to the research. Then we'll look at how we approach the research. And thirdly, I'll summarize the key findings of the research. So let's start with a brief description of the background. 6 months ago, your company found that there was an increasing number of customers in one of your company's 3 regions that were canceling their contracts within 14 days. There were also a growing number of complaints to the call center. So the key questions our survey needed to ask were, why so many complaints and why so many cancellations? Of course, there were also other issues that our survey needed to take into account. So once we selected the 90,000 customers across your company's 3 regions, we then emailed them the survey. We allowed 4 weeks for them to respond to the surveys. And after that period, we received a 4% response rate. Now, this is quite good for this type of survey. We then analyzed those responses and compiled them in a report for you. Let's look at those responses in a bit more detail. Now, of that 4%, this blue section shows that 57% of those responses came from the region with the difficulties. That's significant, as you are more likely to receive responses from customers who are either very satisfied or very unsatisfied. Anyway, this leads me on to the third and main part of my presentation, the actual results of the survey. Now, in front of you, there's a copy of the survey's findings. I'm going to summarize the key findings for each of these questions. So let's begin with question 1, which asks your customers how likely they are to recommend your company to a friend. As you can see, we have used a scale with 0 being not at all likely and 10 being extremely likely. According to this chart, the overall response indicates that customers are fairly likely to recommend your company. However, this chart represents an average response across the 3 regions. If we break these responses down into the 3 regions like this, it illustrates the difference in customer satisfaction region by region. Now remember, red and yellow are the regions with increasing numbers of customers. Consequently, the responses are quite high, even as high as 10. But the lower scores in the previous chart were caused by the decline in these blue responses here. They go down to the 0 level in some cases.